All right, everyone. Welcome back. And to those who have just joined us, a very warm welcome to the UAE Careers Community Virtual Fair. Just a couple of house rules really quickly. Please ensure that your mics are muted and that your videos are switched off throughout the session. There will be time for questions at the end of every session. You are welcome to either then unmute and speak, or you can drop your questions and comments in the chat box. In case you don't get your questions answered, you can always email us on events@uaecareerscommunity.com and we will ensure that the speaker gets back to you. Finally, if anyone is found disrupting the session, they will be removed and will not be allowed back in. All right, so without further ado, a quick introduction to our next speaker. Ms. Pegah Cole is the director of a human resources consultancy based in the United Arab Emirates. She is also a licensed career coach with over 15 years of experience in helping people, right from graduates to mid to even senior C-level executives. This has all been done predominantly in the Middle East, and she helps them take the next big step towards their career growth. Thank you so much, Ms. Pegah. Over to you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to starting this session. So just wanted to quickly, who's the host exactly? Because Shweta is the...
Yes, it's Shweta.
Okay, cool. Nice, good. So just wanted to check a little bit about the audience. Are mostly fresh graduate, either from school or from college or from university, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have some schools whose classes are tuning in. This would be from grades 9 to 12 or even 13. Mm-hmm. And then we have a mix of university students and some fresh grads, as well as careers practitioners.
Okay, perfect. Nice, good. So I'm going to start the session without any further ado then. Thank you very much for the introduction that you've done for me. I just wanted to add something else as well to the introduction. And so we're going through the session together. I also an author of this book called The Formula, which is the formula about the job hunting. So it's from A to Z of the job hunting. I put it all this together in this book, and it's available on all online channels, or like over 700 online channels, along with Amazon's Kindles and the rest of the famous one. So it's a very short book, so don't worry, I'm not going to give you another book to read. But it has lots of information, direct to the point. You don't need to go further than that. So can I share my screen then?
Yes,
okay.
You should be able to.
Okay. Perfect. How to write a winning CV or resume, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to go further to this slide. So this is a little bit about me, which is here. And oh, there is a problem, Shweta. I don't know why it's not showing the way that it's supposed to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see the screen. For some reason, it's not. Do we have your updated presentation, Pegah? Would you like me to share it from my side?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Sorry, everyone. this is a technology era, and we always need to expect this kind of errors at our point. So before I started with my presentation, I want to share something. I hope that whatever I'm sharing in this session won't be, I mean, I'm not hoping, but I'm sure that it, at certain point, it won't be valid. Why? Because the technology is really going so fast. So in few years, you may don't need the CV as, you know, as you used to need it. For example, back in days, the time that I was at your space, I was at your place, I should, you know, apply with the CV in my hand. You know, it was like the paper CV and the hard copy. But nowadays, no one even using the hard copy, everyone using the soft copy. Okay, there we go. I think we have the presentation. So
Yep, we're good to go.
okay, thank you so much. I think, but if I want to change the slide, I need to ask you to do so, or I can do it.
You would need to ask me.
Okay,
You could take control of my screen as well, but I'm happy to just help you through.
sure, no worries. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, these are the quick intro about me and the book, the formula. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so what is CV? I don't know if I rather to have a very interactive sessions, but let's keep it as it is. So it's a short form of the Latin word called curriculum vitae, which is like about the course of life, or you know, we call it CV or vitae, or you know, like it's an overview of yourself, what you have done, what is your experience, what is your credentials, and everything like in one paper. Imagine that instead of you going to someone and telling them, oh, I'm doing this and this and this and this, you know, you have it in one page or one paper. So I call it your catalog. I call it your brochure. So instead of you doing this CV can do this for you, and it can go miles away. It can go to another country without you being personally there. So before we're going further, because of the pandemic, we have a very rapid way of going through the technology, as I mentioned. So except the paper or the page of the CVs, like a Word documents, we have also another way of having a CV, which is like a video CV. So you talk about your experiences. They can see you. They can see your body language. They can see you're smiling or you're frowning, or you know, like all of these things also can be measured in your video CV. It's a very early stage of the video CVs, but nevertheless is not going to be ignored, and probably is going to be the future of the CVs in the future world. So I just want to keep that for you in mind, that you know, whatever you're hearing here, it's going to be applicable for your video CV as well. So can we go to the next one, please? Okay, so how to write an impressive CV. For you guys, it's a bit different than if someone has the 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience, and I've done most of it, and I know what we need to focus on. And that's why I mentioned that, you know, like I ask for the audience, because it's very much should be relevant to you. If you are just graduated or you are about to graduating, so you should have a different mindset, and the recruiters look at your CV with the different mindset as well. So how to write an impressive CV to not get, next slide, rejected. Yes. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so your CV will be filtered with in two different ways, and you need to have your CV ready for all of this, both filters that is going through. Okay. Nowadays, let's say if the company has like thousands of employees, or like they cannot, literally they cannot go through screening everyone's CV for every job through the human resources. So because of that, we got something called ATS, which stands for Application Tracking Systems, or Application Tracking Softwares. So if I want to give you an idea about the ATS, let's say you're Googling something. You go to Google, you search, I don't know, like careers community. So what will happen exactly at the back end? There are like some crawlers that they're crawling through all the web pages and finding out the keywords that you mentioned, that you put it in the search box, and they found it for you. So it's quite similar to that. And for application tracking softwares or systems, what they do when you apply for a job, they screen your CV and they scan it, and they find out the relevant keywords on your CV, which is matched with the keywords and the job description. So it's very much should not be neglected. It's very important. And most of the time, I mean, you guys are quite fresh. Maybe you haven't faced it, but if anyone faced that, please let me know at the end of the session. Sometimes you face that they're like, you're applying for thousands of jobs, or okay, not thousand, let's say 50 jobs, 15 jobs even, and they're like, they're nothing, you hear back from them, and they're like, most of the time is everything is very much automated. So they need you to upload your CV, they ask you for certain information, and it's like 500 pages. It's not, but it's a lengthy process, and then at the end you don't hear anything, you know. So I can say that whenever I hear this complaint, I always go back to this point, and I always say that it's because of this. So there are many things involved in your CV that if you're not in comply with that ATS, your CV going as a blank documents to the ATS. So they cannot read anything from your CV. So it's very important to know how to format the CV to be ATS friendly. Okay. So what we need to have in our CV, or how our CV need to be ATS friendly. First of all is a CV file format. Okay. The thing is, if you go to internet and you search for the CV format or CV template or whatever, there are thousands of different ways that they're doing it. I make it very simple for you, and it's not only I make it simple, it's necessity, and you have to do it this way to be able to pass the ATS filter. It's you need to have your CV to be formatted in the Word documents. So it's very important to have it in Word, not even PDF. Why? Because the PDF is sometimes is not very much friendly with some ATS. So we don't know what they use, every single company. There are many different ATS softwares. So best thing to do is to keep it simple, keep it in the Word documents. Don't do it in any other format. So I know that so many CV formatting companies, they are like, they love PDF, but believe me, it's just much more safe to go with Word, because all of them, they can read Word documents. Okay, so what else you need to do? Avoiding any symbols. Your CV, in one word, needs to be as dry as possible. Ugly, literally. Nothing in it, nothing exciting except the words written, paragraph, and some of the bullet points that needs to be there. Other than that, avoid anything. So avoid symbols, avoid any kind of headers or footers, and also your picture. back in days, again, I'm going back to the reason that we have the pictures on our CVs, was like there was no LinkedIn, no social medias, no presence of anyone on the internet. And the only way that they could find out who is Pegah Goal in that paper, it was for me to put my picture there so they can have an idea. And now it's just completely useless to do so. And not only that, it's also affecting your application tracking system filtering because you put your picture there. So avoid doing that. Instead, you can put your LinkedIn link. I believe that we have you have guys another session about the LinkedIn profile. So you know what is LinkedIn. So you can have your LinkedIn link on your CV. So when they are receiving it on their email, they can click on it. You can have your picture there and everything will be there as well, you know. So don't worry about that. It's absolutely not required to put your picture on your resume or your CV. So now we're reaching to the human filter, and I'm going to share with you something very important about recruiters. We have few people that they're screening your CVs, either recruiters, external recruiters like me. I used to, for 15 years, I used to screen the CVs and finding it and finding I was a matchmaker between the employees and employers. So I find the job seekers job and I find the employers the right candidates for the job that they have. So this is one way of one person that there's like reviewing your CV. The second person is going to be internal recruiters. There are some internal recruiters that they are posting the jobs and they're receiving the CVs and they're checking your CV. The third one are the line managers. For example, we have head of communication and they are looking for someone like a fresh graduate, or not head of communication, maybe communication manager. They need a fresh graduate to join to their program and they are looking at your CV. So for this, all of these people, they have a busy schedule and they have their own life and they have their own work as well. And plus, they need to also review your CV. And for every single application, that every single job vacancy that we posted online, if I tell you we get more than 1,000 applicants, I did not lie it. So like every single time I put normally between 800 to 1,500 applicants. I know it's shocking, right? But that's the situation, especially I think in this part of the world, because the competition is high, the demand is high as well. So you know, we have this problem. Even if it's not 1,000, let's say, even if it's 50 candidates just applying for one job, the person needs to go through the 50 CVs. So put yourself in their shoes. It's not going to be easy. They cannot spend time on your CV a lot. So you need to keep it short. On average, they said that each recruiters, they are spending between 6 to 7 seconds on any CVs, and I can confirm that. That's the truth. So I know that we have some topic about my, the title of my session today also was like what the recruiters are looking for. I'm just going to also mix that with this because they are looking for these things. They're looking for short CVs, shouldn't be long, especially for you. You just graduated. You may not have a lengthy of years of experience. So happy days. One page is enough. Please don't keep it 2 pages. I saw sometimes the fresh graduates, they have 2 pages CV and I'm wondering what exactly they put that make it 2 pages. So keep it short, keep it professionals. What does that mean? Like avoid certain things, like for example, avoid writing something very personal, and keep the everything so coherent. Keep everything when you're writing it, write it specifically for one purpose. For example, if you are a fresh graduate from finance and you've done lots of things about finance, lots of, I don't know, internship, or you've done some summer jobs or anything like that, you can just mention it. But anything except that you can keep it on the hobby side, but not put so much information that is personal, which is not going to gain you anything. Another very, very important part is the keyword. Keyword is the key of your CV. So I know that as a graduate, you may not have lots of keywords to use it. Surprisingly, you can still use certain things. Even fresh graduate is a key, is a keyword, because some jobs are specifically for you. Most of the Fortune 500 companies and like, they are like big organizations, they have this management trainee program, which is specifically for fresh graduate. They don't take anyone with experience. So lucky for you, and it's a keyword for you as well. So keep the keywords inside that, like fresh graduate. If you are graduated from I don't know, like distinction, or like the GPA is high, please mention it. If you got like, I don't know, magna cum laude or something like that, it needs to be there because it's part of the keywords as well. The spelling needs to be right. That's something that I don't need to mention it, but sometimes we see that. And if the job requires attention to details, certainly that's not going to get you the job. And needs to be coherent, as I mentioned. So it's very important to keep it simple, very dry, very simple, very unattractive, because I see sometimes graduates, they really want to do lots of different colors, colorful, because that's how youth, they want to show themselves vibrant. I can say you can do it on your LinkedIn profile, but for CV, keep it very simple, please. So, and also you need to got your achievement highlighted. Very important to have your achievement highlighted. I know that you may thinking, okay, I never worked, what kind of achievements I have, but obviously you have done something, maybe during your school time, during university. I don't know, maybe you were presidents of this club in the uni, or you got a medal in something, even if it's not relevant, but still keep it there, because that's how you differentiate yourself with the others. So can we please go to the next slide? Perfect. So how your CV should look like, that was what I was talking about. To be honest, I would even remove these lines, but those are fine. So it should be a mix of some bullet points, some summary, which is going to be a paragraph, and information about your education. So you need to have your personal information for sure. When you put your phone and your email address, I recommend you to put also LinkedIn link there, so that they can easily find you on LinkedIn as well. Your personal summary, which is who you are, what you're looking for, and what is your ambition, like what do you want to achieve. So these are very important for fresh graduate. Okay, here you can put your education on the top. That's because it's your most recent achievements, so you can put it on the top. But this is like a very much overview of the CV of anyone who wants to have the CV. So I kept it a little bit more generic because I thought maybe we have in our audience, someone who's having experiences. So then your skills, then the personal skills, technical skills, then as I mentioned, the education, the credentials, whatever you got, literally need to be there, because that's what you are at the moment. You got the most important things at the moment, it's your education. However, achievements are something that recruiters will look at it always. Even if you have 10 years of experience, the achievements are something that you need to really consider to put it and highlight it. So they look at it because they want to see, they want to get a glimpse of your personality as well. So let's say, I don't know, you are, again, I'm going to go through the finance graduate again. You're a finance graduate, and then you also attended to some competition, sport competition, and you won. So that's what it exactly tells about you. It tells that you're, you have the competitive personality, and you like to win, you like to achieve something. So that's also it's something that they look, because they want to get other things. Yes, you may have like your personal skills, your soft skills, I don't know, like you may put certain words which they are a bit overused and cliche, they lost their meaning. But they look at these things, they look at the achievements, because those are the ones that tell about your personality and your soft skills more than what you put over there. Okay, so can we go to the next slide, please? Again, what should include in your CV? It's a complete completion of the last slide. So the resume summary, you need to put your summary, like who, as I said, who you are, what you're looking for, and where do you see yourself, or what is your ambitious, and then put statements that grab their interest, and and make them want to ask your question. So certain things, again, like um, you know if you again if you graduated from certain distinction or something, you mention it, or maybe I can see that in the new generations, because I'm a bit into the startups, and talking about tech startups, talking about the unicorns, and also I do some I actually work on some startups myself, which is very much relevant to recruitment, and I hope that would be disruptive for the whole recruitment process, because I find that it's quite different. So what I'm going to do is going to be the revolution, similar to what Uber did, maybe, and like going everything's all right.
Yes, sorry about that. I think someone got unmuted.
Okay, no worries. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be similar to that. So some of you maybe, for example, graduated from communication major, your major communication, or major marketing, or major finance, accounting, or different majors. However, you are very much interested to work in startups to get the experience on that. So this is a very new thing for everyone, and I can see that the within my capacity and the project that I'm working on, that there are lots of fresh graduates that they want to join. Actually, they approach us and they ask us if they can join, and they want to have their internship there, or they want to have some experience there. So you may put something like startup enthusiast, or tech savvy, or technology enthusiast, something like that. So that's grabbed my attention, and I'm like, okay, I can see that someone is showing the interest. So between all those CVs, maybe like I'm getting hundreds of CVs of fresh graduates, I will go through the one that they actually mentioned something like that, which grabbing my attention. Again, going through the accomplishment, I remember once I had an intern, which she was a fresh graduate, and she actually attended one of my seminars. And then after that, she approached me, she bought my book, and then she said that she really likes to work with me without me asking. And I said, okay, fine, let's do internships. So this is another way, by the way, you can approaching companies, and getting your internship, or getting your summer job, or getting your freelancing jobs even. So, and then I look at her CV, I look at her LinkedIn profile, and she was all right. I didn't really, see anything like, it was very, very, very normal CV. And then I added the, like as a recruiter, we always double check everything about the person. And you need to be careful also with your social media, because nowadays people do research about you. And if you research about me, for example, you will see that I have my Google panel, it's about me, I'm an author, and all these things, it's everything is there already about me. And this is the same about you. More or less, you're gonna have some presence online. So when I was checking her, and I follow her on Instagram, and then I saw that there was a ceremony, and then she got her, it was a graduation ceremony, and she said, was the only female who graduated with magna cum laude. And I was like, wow. And she didn't even mention it in either her CV or her LinkedIn profile. And I was like, that's something it should be on top of your CV, literally highlighted, and shows that you were the only female in the whole batch of graduates to achieve that, which is great achievement. So don't forget something like that. Keep it always in mind. So, and your interests and passions, as I mentioned, you can mention it also. The soft skills and hard skills, both of them need to be there. When I talk about hard skills, sometimes you're getting like IT, information technology graduates, that they are actually, have some kind of working with certain software, certain hardwares, and they know about certain things that it's very much considered as a hard skills, and it's not something anything technical. Literally, it can be like even finance, doesn't matter. Anything technical is hard skills. Anything personal is soft skills. So if you're like, even being an introvert and extrovert is the soft skills. And believe me, none of them is going to be better than the other, because all of us, we have certain unique personality type that is going to be matched for certain jobs for us. Not everyone likes every job. So for example, if I go, some people, they love working in admin, and for me it's something that I will not going to enjoy it. So if you mention it, it's make it easy for everyone to find out um, who you are in terms of the personality, in terms of the skills and credentials. And can we go to the next slide, please? Perfect, thank you. What not to include on your CV? Your photo, I mentioned earlier. Okay, this salary history is about someone who already had experience, but as I said, I kept it generic, because anyways, this even if you get a job, for the next job that you apply, you need to have this information as well. And so salary history shouldn't be there. And why you left your previous position, again, that's really doesn't need to be there. Keep these ones for the time that you have your interview, which I'm sure that another expert talking about what you say and what not to say in an interview, which is that going to be about that. References. Okay, I see lots of people, they put like a list of their references with all of their personal information and their contact details. It's not professional, first, for them, because you need to ask permission. Even if they give you the permission, it's nice to just mention that references will be provided upon request, or something like that, available upon request, which shows that you're confident. But at the same time, you don't want to expose everyone's information on the piece of paper or on the page Word documents, so that's another thing. So if I want to put everything together at the end of this session, can we go to the next slide, please? Yes. Okay, so certain things about me, I want to help you more. I've done lots of seminars for fresh graduates. You can also follow me on social medias, which like YouTube. I'm going to post something like 2 sessions, like 45 minutes, about the graduate, how they can find job during and after 2020. LinkedIn is a very, very, very powerful platform that you can add me on LinkedIn as well. And I also post regularly very much so many useful information, and it's going to help you if you want to do it now or later. Anyways, you're gonna gain some information out of my sometimes live sessions, sometimes my content and the posts that I put. So all of these channels are my social media channel. You can find me in any of those. And if I want to put all of these information together, is that make sure that your CV is short, it's on the Word documents, it's coherent, and got all the necessary information that you need to have to show who you are in front of your future employees. So I guess that's we are at the end of the session. If you have any questions, please ask me.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Pegah. It was really, really informative. We do have a couple of questions that came in during your session.
Sure.
So some of them include, could you give us an example or a cohesive list of keywords that come through the ATS?
Okay, very good question. How you can find out? Okay, um, each job, they have different ATS keywords. So if we have a, I don't know, finance manager, certainly has certain different keywords than someone who's just a graduate in finance. Okay, the best way to find it is to find it in the job description. So I'm under the impression you're applying for some companies, and the only way that you know that it's ATS, it's because it's going to be automatically you applied your CV and send your CV through the computer, and you fill some forms most probably. So that's in that way you can only apply if there is a job description. So they put the job, for example, on Indeed or on LinkedIn or like any of these websites, Naukri Golf or Monster. So I'm giving some extra information as well, so you can find these jobs there. You'll find those jobs, and it's written for fresh graduate. Check the job description. They said fresh graduate, finance major, for example, and the GPA should be 3 plus, or they need to be first class or whatever. Sometimes they require this. And then they said if their CFA is going to be plus. So if you are pursuing your CFA, please mention it there. So that's something you need to mention. And then there are certain things about the personality type. They said team player, I don't know, efficient, attention to detail. So these are the keywords that they already mentioned it there. And then you need to just find out those keywords, which it's easy because for fresh graduate, the job description, it won't be lengthy. It would be like, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 100 words or something, maybe more, but it's not going to be lengthy. So you can find out easily through the job description, and then you can make sure that you got all those keywords on your CV. Hope that it's covered what was your question.
Great, thank you. The next question we had was, is such a comprehensive CV required for college admissions as well?
To be honest, it's a bit different. But what I can say that in any kind of situations that you're presenting yourself, let's keep it this way. You're presenting yourself. If you're not there, something need to explain who you are. So doesn't matter if it's for the college, if it's for the if it's for the job description. The college is really not my expertise, but as far as I know, it doesn't matter. It should show who you are when they are looking at this paper. They are looking at this page about you. They should know who you are. They should know what kind of personality you have, and they should know what kind of credentials and backgrounds you've got. So that's what I can say from my point.
Thank you for that, Pegah. The next question we have is, Um, do recruiters usually ask questions regarding the skills that you add on your CV to make sure that you aren't faking them? Oh, and sorry, they've asked a second question, which is how do we add potential evidence to back anything we put on our CV?
Um, it really depends. I mean, we are trying to keep everything very accurate and not faking anything. And what I suggest that it's for everyone to just put whatever is the truth, and it's not really worth it. So if you're saying that I'm punctual, and then you reach to your interview late, then that's that's indicate, and whatever you're faking is somehow is going to show. And so this is the best advice I can say, that you don't do it. And people normally look at it and they are under the impression that whatever you wrote there is correct. And if they need more evidence when they are meeting you, when they're interviewing you, or before even the interview, they will ask for proof. So if you are sorry, if you're graduated from I don't know, if you majored communication and your GPA is 2.8, and so when they are, you know, when you're going through the process and they see your certificate, somehow it's going to show. And the worst situation to be is to be caught for not being transparent about the truth about yourself. So this is very important. And I had situation in the past, and yes, recruiters, they do ask these questions. And believe it or not, somehow we become psychologists, you know, like it's like we understand with from the body language, from the tonality of the voice, from many different aspects, that it's very much related to gut feeling. But it's not gut feeling, it's more about the experience that they got. Because for example, myself, I met with 2 candidates per day for 15 years. Imagine, 2 candidates. I spoke to 50 candidates per day, 50 phone calls I made, and I talked to them. And if I find them qualified, I ask them to come and meet me. And yes, I ask those questions because I want to make sure that what I'm sending to the clients is something that it's everything is matched with whatever written there. Yes, they do ask.
Thank you. The next question we had was, did you mention that we should include headers or not? I think this may have,
Headers and footers,
yeah,
no,
right?
no, no.
No. And the last couple of questions, someone's asked if he should put references to back up his achievements.
What kind of references? Like you want to put the name of the person and their contact details? You know, anytime you
I
want to
think,
put a reference, I'm not sure about the question, but to give the generic answer, anytime you want to put a reference on your CV, just mention that available references available upon request. Means that I'm confident that if you ask me, I'm going to provide. But when you put that, you need to really have something to back it as well. So you need to have something to make sure that, you know, like if you put that, if they ask you for references, then you can call your references and tell them that I want to provide your information for this reference for this place. Is that okay? And then they will say yes, and then you know you go ahead and share that.
great, thank you for that. The last question we have is, my CV is of 2 pages because of the work experience and projects that I've done. What would be a good way to reduce it?
Okay, I need to ask a question. How many years of experience you got? If you can share, please.
Okay. Uh, 1.3 years.
Okay, anything below 10 years shouldn't be more than 1 page. So anything below 5 years, let's say, more than shouldn't be more than 1 page. You need to really prioritize. I don't know, to be honest, it's a um, very different question to answer because I need to see what you got exactly so I can say what is not necessary. But also you can do it yourself. So Sometimes we do lots of things that it's not really core as at our things that we do, but we like it, and also they help us for our development. So the when the pandemic happened, what happened, I didn't know lots of things about the social media. I knew, but not like a lot. But I started to learn about the Canva, how do I make, and if you go to my pages on the IG or LinkedIn, all of the contents that it's created by me. But I learned that, and sometimes you do also these things, but it's like there are certain things that, yes, you learn, you can mention it, or you worked on and you can mention it, but it's not really serving any good purpose for the job that you're applying for. So you are in a better situation to make a decision, okay, that one is not relevant. So one more thing I want to really mention, that you can have a tailor-made CV for the certain jobs. Especially if you're doing lots of different activities, different things, that it might not be like all in the core area of your credentials or what you like to do. So but still you've done a lot. So for certain jobs that they require someone, for example, let's say they said teamwork, and you've been in the basketball team of your college, and so that shows that you have the teamwork, your team player, like, so that's something that you should mention. But for another job, maybe you don't need to mention it. So if you have a lot, which a year and a half is not a lot, you need to really reduce and keep the one that they are like your achievements only in your CV, and your achievement which are relevant to the job that you're applying for.
Great. Thank you so much, Pegah. I think that's all of the questions that we had for now.
Okay, so
Um,
before we conclude, I want to just say something. Just as a graduate, imagine that I don't know how many other people in your class, in your semester, in the same year, they're gonna graduate with the same degree as you. Like if you're studying finance, majoring finance, they are going to graduate same year, and they're going to be like out looking for a job. Again, if you're doing communication, marketing, or whatever, you're studying art, business, so there are many. So how you can differentiate yourself? Let's say if there is a job for a fresh graduate and in finance, and I receive 10 CVs, you need to stand out with your CV. You need to make it different by the things, by the achievements that you put, by the keywords that you put, which make it relevant, by the personality indicators that make it relevant. So don't think that if you just graduated and you just put your education and your major, your university, that's it, that's enough, I don't have anything else to add. And if you are in the college, and if you're still studying, if you're still in school, consider that adding all of these things, like doing some summer jobs, it will add weight on your CV and makes you different than the rest when it reaches to the time of graduations.
Great. Thank you so much, Pegah. That's really, really good advice. And I'm sure that the careers team members on the group as well, from various colleges and universities, will be taking a couple of notes down. I know that I am, and we run the Career Center at Curtin University. So thank you once again for your time. And
You're welcome.
I hope you have a lovely rest of the day.
Thank you, thank you.
And for the rest of our,
I just want to thank
sorry.
you, and thanks all of you. Put your time is 40 something minutes. So well done to you that you're building your future, and wish you good luck.
I completely agree with you. I think it's fantastic that everyone's taking time out to better themselves for a better future. So, yes, thank you, students, and to our lovely audience. And of course, to Ms. Pegah Agol. We will be back in about 11 minutes for the next session. Thanks.
Thank you.